This is the VIP Late Lunch with Lee Sterry on the Voice of Niagara, News Talk 610 CKTB.
Hey, good afternoon. It is Wednesday, October the 17th edition of the VIP Late Lunch, and we have a couple of great VIPs to bring you today. This is the regularly scheduled Skrtich Living Hour with none other than Michael Skrtich. Michael, how are you?
Excellently. Thanks for having me again today on a great day. And of course, I brought a gift for Ashley. It's her birthday today, and I noticed there was some...
Our sales representative, Ashley Myers, is having a birthday today, yes. If she's listening on her way back, she's out in a pumpkin patch somewhere, I think. But.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys had some brownies for her in the fridge, and I had one. And,
well, as of 12:01, or at least 1 second after midnight...
Loopy. No.
Yeah. So has it changed your world? I don't feel any different myself.
Wait till it kicks in.
Yes, and just so that all of the people that run Bell Media know, we do have a bottle of wine in the studio. It is not open. It is a birthday gift for Michael's sales representative. It's not going to be shared during the program at all.
No.
Okay, so. Ashley, hurry back. You have a bottle of wine waiting for you. It's a very nice one, too, by the way. Okay. Our guest on the Skrtich Living Hour, before we continue to be any more rude and let her sit there and not talk to her, is Antoinette D'Angelo of Figg St Company in Downtown Thorold. Antoinette, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Nice to have you here. Glad to have you along for the ride.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Well, you can thank Michael for that because it's...
Thank you, Michael.
Okay.
You're very welcome.
Michael.
So the object of this program, as it was originally designed, is to promote, in particular, the ambiance, the excitement, the development, the changes, the evolution, pick an adjective, of Downtown Thorold. You're part of that. Your business is part of that. The Figg St and Company.
It's Figg St Co.
Figg St Co?
Correct.
Okay. I know that's your website, but on Figg St. Okay, it is. All right. I put an and in there. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Because one of the sites I saw said and. So
yes, some people make that mistake,
all
but
right.
It's okay.
All right. Well, add me to that list.
Some people call it Fig Tree, but it's Figg St Co.
Figg St Co. All right.
Figg St Co.
So let's start there. It's on Front Street in downtown Thorold. Tell us about what is Figg St Co.
Figg St Co. is a beautiful little paper shop. I have fine stationery, lovely artful greeting cards. I have a lot of handmade items from local vendors and vendors from all over the world. I love old world craftsmanship, so I have a lot of letterpress. I have, I like to support the creators that create the products as much as possible, and I have a lot of beautiful handmade papers from around the world. I have fountain pens and fine stationery and journals that are a beautiful marriage to use a fountain pen with. So, my inventory is growing, but it's all about paper and paper products and beautiful gifts.
And in these days, we chatted about this a bit off the air. In these days of all of the IT and the technological ways we communicate, etc., how did you come up with the idea? Because you've been in what, 4 years in business now,
Four and
right?
a half years, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we were neck deep in techno communications at that point in time. How does somebody start a stationery and paper and like something that's so tactile as that? How do you be committed to doing that?
Well, I am a paper lover and a stationery lover, and I believe that the analog and the written word is a whole different process in our minds. When we actually sit down, we have to think about the words that we write to put on paper, unlike when you're typing or texting. You have everyone has their own signature. There's so much that goes into the thought process and the actual time spent of writing a letter or writing a card out and sending it to someone. So you're slowing down the process of life a little bit by being much more mindful of the process of what you're trying to accomplish. And I just jumped in. I know that there's a lot of people out there that still love to send cards and still write letters. There's analog has come back into trend. So many more people are journaling today. The fountain pen industry is thriving. So there's a lot of interest. And even though we're in the digital age, writing a letter, writing a card,
we think of it as being the lost art, but you're telling us it's not a lost art.
It's not a lost art.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yes.
You have on your website, one of the sites, you say, I often say that snail mail is the best mail, and I bet you would agree. Opening up your mailbox to find a note sent especially to you brings an instant smile to your face. And that is so true, because it's rare now. It used to be, when I was managing things years ago, I used to say, how do we get your attention? Like, if we want to apply for a job at your place, how do we get your attention? I said, send me a letter. Send me a hard, tactile application. Don't do it over email, because I'll probably lose it. Yeah. And today, that's maybe more true than it ever was.
It's true, and there's much more emotion when you're reading it. That person's handwriting, it's all part of them. And you also are preserving something in history. And our texts disappear, our emails disappear. You can save a card, you can save a letter. Look at all these beautiful love letters that are found in attics today. I mean, and the paper that it's on, it's still standing the test of time. So, the preservation of history is, I think, important when you're writing.
So I think those two things, the analog and the digital, I think we can and will probably live parallel. We'll live together. We'll live together in the same world for different reasons for quite some time. I hope, anyway.
I agree.
Now, there are other aspects to, there's the artisan and the artists aspect to your store, I know, and we're going to be getting to that in just a bit. We're going to take a quick break. Time flies. Michael Skrtich, sorry we haven't talked to you very much. How you doing? You all right over there?
Oh, those brownies were great.
Skrtich Living Hour with Michael and Antoinette D'Angelo of Figg St Co. First of all, before we talk about where you are and why you're there, Antoinette, how do you sum up what your store is? Because it's more than just one thing. You were talking about fine stationery and papers and stuff, but it's more than that. You've got artisans' work and you have artist things happening there. And how do you summarize the experience of coming into your shop? If you had to, which you now do, I guess.
That's a good question. Well,
I know the answer. Describe how you chose the name.
There you go.
That's the answer.
That's a good one.
Because you're an artist, Antoinette.
That's a good one.
I don't think I'm an artist, but I've just growing up, you have to kind of fight to be an individual, and you don't want to follow the norms that everybody else does. So that's why I was telling Michael and Lee earlier about how Figg Street, the name came upon me. I made up a bunch of names, and I kept seeing these beautiful pictures of figs, and every fig is so individual and unique. And so I was drawn into the word fig and added a G so people didn't think I actually sold figs. Yes,
your shop is spelled F-I-G-G.
Yes, double G. So it's about that, and it's about bringing in product that is artful and different. And I hear so many customers come in who, keep saying there's a lot of unique things in my shop. And I think that, there's so much of the same product everywhere in every big major store today that, it's a welcome surprise.
It's hard to find that unique thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it takes a lot of research and a lot of effort to find them and bring them in. And I research the product, and it matters to me where it comes from and who makes it. And all these things factor into how I bring product into the office.
Where did this vision come from? You observed something similar, what was it, in Ottawa years ago?
Well, I lived in Ottawa in a little downtown, and I used to frequent a paper shop that I loved. And I could buy a lot of cool things there other than stationery and paper. And so that stayed with me in the back of my mind. And when I started writing my business plan, I just started to develop my ideas, and I really wanted to stay true to the artisan. And, that's why I have old world craftsmanship in my shop, so things that have been made for hundreds of years that is still being made today is in my shop, and it's beautiful tactile paper. So those things I'm drawn towards because they're so beautiful and they make me feel good, and I hope that they make other people feel good. But it's all about touching your senses, and I think that a lot of things in my shop do that when you come in. It's very artful, and I guess I call it an artful gift shop because I'm growing in ways that you don't expect, that I didn't expect. So, and now a lot of people are coming to me and they want to have their product in my shop. So it's developing to be a very artful place.
So it's sort of a constantly growing, evolving environment in there.
It is.
Now, so you were in Ottawa. You and your husband. You met your husband. You go to Maine. I'm just sort of going through the Coles Notes version here. Then you moved to Niagara. Why, when you thought, okay, I'm going to take the plunge here. I'm going to go into business, which is a big decision for anybody. I mean, it's a scary. You're sort of sacrificing maybe everything, and you're risking a lot, and you're going into business for yourself. Okay, why Downtown Thorold? How did that happen?
I absolutely love downtowns. I'm always drawn to downtowns. I love shopping in downtowns. I lived in the downtown cores of many cities that I've lived in my life, and I knew that if I was going to have the kind of shop that I envisioned, I needed to be in a downtown. And so I started searching the downtowns, and I wasn't having any success. And my neighbor approached me one day when she came into Thorold, and the Pie Man used to be a shop that was there, and she said, Antoinette, she called me up right away, and she said, Antoinette, you have to go to Downtown Thorold. You will love it there. And so that was a Saturday. On the Monday, I went to Downtown Thorold, and I walked the street, and I felt like this was home to me. But there weren't any leases available. And I spoke to a few different people, and they told me about Shannon. They told me about this person.
Shannon Passero. We had her on a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
And then I was in touch with Michael Skrtich.
This guy.
This guy. We couldn't find him.
And in spite of him.
we couldn't find him on the street, but I was given his business card, and I immediately went home because I was so excited. And I thought, well, at least if I network with him, maybe he knows something I don't. And I was kind of sad that in my eyes, that I could see that day that there was nothing available. But lo and behold, I sent him an email, and he immediately replied that he had a couple of places for me to look at, and I really wasted no time the day after we met. And he showed me the place that I'm in now at 40 Front Street South, and once I said yes, I knew, a vision just unfolded for me, and I knew that, this is where I wanted to be. Downtowns offer such a unique experience, and it's all about the community that is built around the downtown, and being part of the community is what I think is the best thing about being in a downtown rather than a strip mall or a big mall. You're part of a community that you're building together, and you meet the real people that live in the neighborhoods. And
Now you talked about, sorry to interrupt, you talked about Shannon Passero, her shop is there, and Michael, of course, has some properties we'll talk more about. Do you find that the energy of your fellow business people in that area, so you sort of feed off one another? Is it that kind of dynamic in a downtown core?
I think they all do, Lee. We had Shannon on 2 weeks ago in Antoinette's store. The two of them work together so well, because when you come to the downtown, you're coming to one of those stores or somewhere else, and it becomes an experience. So if someone comes, they go get their hair done, they go to Shannon Passero's store, they go to Figg St Company, they'll hit a couple other of the spots, and that's what makes it like, if you're gonna, they know they plan half a day. And they come because they want to, women like to shop, and women like to go look at beautiful things and all the things that Antoinette just told you that's in her store. And it's so nice to see, like she was saying, the community, and everybody works together and everybody knows everybody. And now the new people are moving into the Albert apartments, and they're all customers of both stores as well. I got some of Antoinette's customers, she told them about the Albert, and they came and they're now renting from me because they loved it so much, because of the beautiful things that are in the area. And then I showed them the apartments, and of course that's exactly what they wanted to do. They're at the right stage in their life to sell their property and come, to start renting and to have that kind of lifestyle. But yeah, the downtown, everybody's working with everybody, and like she was saying, those, the real businesses, the real entrepreneurs, the real, we just heard Antoinette's story. It's the real story. Like she came and she's very passionate about these things, and when you are passionate like that, you have to do it. You have to. Action has to happen, and that's what happened with Antoinette, and her store is absolutely stunning and it's beautiful, and it's in a building that I redid. And we did the facade like back in the olden times. Okay. So that's like with Shannon and her buildings, and my buildings, we're not putting in all straight like in a downtown Toronto or something. We've got the old style, like the way that things were back when the English came and settled that area. So that's what adds character to the downtown.
Absolutely.
You were talking about the Albert. We might as well get an update. How are the? Have you got space left?
We do have space left. There's 6 available. People are loving it. They've moved in now since we last talked. Yep. All the people that have rented are starting to move in. We've still got some commercial space in the bottom available.
For shops just like the kind of businesses we're talking about here, right?
Yes, and then knowing that there's anchor tenants in the downtown, you can all work with each other and become part of that community, and everybody's working together, and you're creating that destination where you park your car. You're there for 4 or 5 hours and you hit all the stores, and it's one of those things that you come and do, like from if you're far away coming and you drive in and you have that experience, and it's a lovely experience. So,
how many commercial spots do you have now? It's ground floor, right?
Yeah, there's 4
at the Albert.
Yeah, there's 4 that are available. One of them is street front, and then the rest is in the back. Of course, would be great for some lawyers, engineers, accountants to come and rent that space, and to be part of a city. You don't just go grab some plaza block, and sure, you've got it's easy to have 50 parking spots in front of this building, but there's nothing else around you. You're going to experience a downtown. You're going to have a lunch break where you can go visit the shops and the stores, and then the couple of unique restaurants in the area. And you're living and breathing a small city.
The Skrtich Living Hour for this Wednesday, the 17th of October. I've been trying to get a sense of whether anybody feels any different, but I guess the 17th, as of like a minute after 12, all of a sudden Canada becomes this great green leafy place, and that everybody seems much more relaxed than they did 24 hours ago. I don't know. Maybe it's just my imagination. I don't feel any different.
I don't feel any different either, Lee. I don't think there's anything in those brownies, to be honest. I tried staring at the walls, but nothing happened.
Along with Michael Skrtich and myself is Antoinette D'Angelo. She runs a fabulous boutique business called Figg St Company in downtown Thorold. 40 Front Street South?
40 Front Street, yes.
Yeah, okay. I got it right. Okay, yes. So it hasn't affected me too much since midnight. No. All right.
It's just news.
Antoinette, there's another aspect to your place we just touched on a little bit earlier. You started with the concept of, to you, paper is for some reason this very exciting tactile experience. right? That's kind of where it all started.
Yes. It's like fabric.
Yeah. So, and it's something that makes you feel good and there's so many different things you can do with it. And,
That's right.
The cards and the stationery and all this stuff. And people come from far away to come to your place.
Yes, they do. I have a nice following from all over the region and some parts of Toronto and Hamilton. So,
but it's grown to include artisans and artists as well. You have events, like artists' events at your place.
Yes, every month. And there's other retailers on the street. We're working together as a collective group of retailers and services and merchants. We hope that it can become and grow into a bigger thing, but we have an art event. Mm-hmm. So every month, I change up my artists. We have local artists that come in. We have a little reception for them. It's the second Thursday of every month. And then their art is hung in the shop for a month. And so they have exposure from all the customers that come in.
And it's for sale as well?
It's for sale, for sure. And so I started that right from the very beginning. I opened in June, and in July we started our first event, and it's grown, and now others are participating in it, and other merchants are staying open, especially in the summertime when we have it. And it would be nice if we could turn it into our own signature art walk or something to that effect, just to give an opportunity for all the artists that are out there, a chance for others to see their work.
How do people find out about your events? And like what artist is coming and how it's happening and that kind of thing?
It's social media. Facebook and Instagram it's posted all the time.
Figg St Co?
Figg St Co. At Figg St Co, yes.
At Figg St Co. Okay, two G's in Fig, by the way.
Correct.
F-I-G-G.
Yes.
Street Co.
Street Co.
Yeah. Okay. Once again, I've asked this of our guests over the last number of weeks that we've been doing this, and of course we have a municipal election coming up in Niagara, well, all around Ontario, but here in Niagara, and Thorold included. As you go forward with how you see the development, much of it thanks to Michael Skrtich and his company and others, and Shanna Passero, who we had on the show a couple of weeks ago, and Richard from the River Lions, and other people that are doing a lot of things in downtown Thorold. How would you like to see? I realize business people are not as a political an animal as perhaps we'd like to think they are, but as a small business person in downtown Thorold that is going through some great evolutionary times, what would you like to see going forward from the politicians of either A, Thorold, B, Niagara, regionally, municipally, whatever, as a business person?
Well, I think the most important thing for me is that the politicians get us involved more in conversations about. We are on the front. We're in the downtown, right? And we see a lot of things that they don't see, and we need to work together, and we like to be involved in some of the decision making. For example, downtown Thorold, one of the reasons why I went down there is because it's the most progressive city, and with growth comes obstacles like parking. And so we know some of the issues with parking, and when you start talking about parking and making resolutions about parking and the issues, it would be nice if we were involved in the decision making and being allowed to express our concerns about what our customers feel and what is important to them about coming downtown and having convenience of parking. And as we grow and develop our little downtown, it would be great to just work together and not have the downtown businesses versus city council. We need to work together, and the only way we could do that is through communication. So we have to sit down around the table and talk about the things that concern us. If we talk to one councillor or one person in city council, the message might not directly get delivered to the right people. But if we can work collectively, I think that would just make us stronger and make it a great place for everyone.
Michael and I have talked frequently about the kinds of businesses that would help augment the businesses that are already there. His, yours, Shannon's, and others, Richard's, and others. Who are some of the people out there, not by name necessarily, but by perhaps category, that you would think would benefit by being in that area?
Oh, we could use more restaurants, more boutiques. For example, a good old-fashioned general store. Though those are great in the downtown, and there's some out there in Toronto and Vancouver that I've seen. A bakery. Good old-fashioned bakery, other boutiques. We don't have a home decor store. We need more
shoes. Do we have shoes?
No, we don't have shoes. Those big stores are tougher because the space that's available. You'd have to go a little bit out of the downtown. But the smaller storefronts that we have, we can totally bring in like shoes, men's clothing, another restaurant. And it just adds. We just keep adding. The downtown is getting better and better. Of course, because of Antoinette's store and the anchor tenants that we have, but it takes time to get those. That's why we talk on the radio, and if anybody gets inspired to say, I really do have to make that step and go on my own, and then they check out Downtown Thorold, and then they see, this is the place to do it because there's others like them there.
And if they're not sure how to go about it, they can always call you, right?
Just go to Downtown Thorold and say, "Where's Michael?" That's all you got to do.
Find Michael. Get me Michael.
He's right over there. They're all going to point.
and walk the street and talk to people, talk to the merchants. It's great to do that.
Absolutely.
This program, every couple of weeks, we call it the Skrtich Living Hours, the brainchild of Michael Skrtich, a developer and passionate Downtown Thorold entrepreneur. Michael, let's talk a little bit about your place before we completely run out of time, because the hour is flying by here. Yes. By the way, as we like to say, it's thealbertapartments.ca.
Yeah.
All you need to know about the place we're talking about. You said you got how many left?
There's 6 two-bedroom apartments left.
Yeah.
And as we mention every week, stainless steel appliances, the best quartz countertop, hardwood floors.
In-suite washers, dryers.
Oh, yeah.
What's a Juliet balcony? What is that?
In Europe, when, the way they've built these, in these downtowns, the buildings are so close together and the buildings have always been there. You can't just... you can't just create a new building. Like, you can tear stuff down and make a new building. So the doors open up to the street, and you put a little bit of a balcony over it. So you've got 2 double doors that open from your apartment, and you've got just a railing there. So your whole living room becomes your balcony, and you can still look outside and see what's going on and all the action and see how things are changing in the downtown.
What are the size of these units that you have left?
They range from 983, those we don't have anymore. The smallest one now is 1,050 square feet up to 1,573 square feet. And the prices range from $1,890 to $2,830. So the 2830 one has a balcony, Juliet doors. It's 2 massive. It's just a tremendous amount of space, and it's very beautiful because people are moving from.
What level is this on? How many stories up?
There's 6 different types, and it's a 4-story building. So
okay, that's what I was going for. How
each
high?
Type is on every single floor.
Right.
So people are moving, and they want to. They don't want to give up the space because they're used to a big home and they're used to a certain luxury, and they're paying rent. And the rentals out there, they're not close to this. I mean, you can go rent a condo that's nice, but still not as nice as mine. And you may get asked to leave if the person sells it. So now you're establishing yourself in a beautiful downtown with the right shops and like Antoinette was saying earlier, the growth potential. It's going to be that place that if you're going to retire and then everything is walking distance, all the stores and all the banks are there, and there's we've got of course the medical offices that are on Front Street as well too.
Right.
The doctors that just came there and built these beautiful brand new offices. I mean, it's safe. It's small. It's it's more controllable. You don't have St. Catharines is great too, but there's just lots of people, and it's just things are happening different here than they are in Downtown Thorold, and it's really beautiful.
Now, and people are going to say utilities. I mean, this is a modern building you're talking about.
I built it as if it was a condo, and We didn't sell them as condo units.
Right.
It stays as an apartment. You know, my business partner, Richard Petcoat, and I own it. He's actually there now. I think he's taking tape off the windows or something.
He's painting or something.
I don't think, he doesn't like it when the paint gets on little spots. I think he's just got a razor blade and taking the paint off, I think. I said, maybe he's listening to the radio. Hey, shout out to Richard Petcoat. Yeah, so that's what we...
Don't spill anything, Richard.
Yeah, right.
Okay, go ahead.
So what were we saying? I lost track of mine.
You were talking about the heights and the makeup of the building and the thing.
Yeah, so it's a 4-story, and the condominiumized them. That's what we did. We made them. So we own the building, but we didn't condominiumize them because the security of not being asked to leave if somebody sells it. You want to make sure you're there, so you're making a life choice. To come to rent from us and to stay in the downtown, because you're selling your home, and you're coming there and you're banking the cash, and now it's like, yes, this is where I want to live because the product doesn't exist anywhere else this good. And it's such a cool little place to go walk, and then more stores are going to be coming. You know, the more we talk about it, the more people come down and visit it, the more people come to Antoinette's store and they see it and they're like, wow, I heard her on the radio. Let me go there and check it out. It really is truly this beautiful. And yes, she is an artist because of the way she puts it all together in her store and the way she sees the vision of it all. Like that story about her fig, the way she created her logo and sees it beautifully on a plate of cheese with a glass of wine. That's art. You're looking at that and you're like, wow, the fig is beautiful. Like you're really appreciating that fruit and the shape of it, and you can just almost smell it through the picture that she's describing, and that's art, and that's what her store looks like, and that's what Downtown Thorold looks like, and everybody's making it that way, and it's just a beautiful, it's wonderful.
Antoinette, I can't think of a better sales pitch than the one that we just heard from.
I know. Thank you, Michael.
From Michael.
You're welcome.
I'm not good at this myself.
No, you're just fine. One of the things that I wanted to inform people about as well is the fact that this is something that you, meaning your business, 4.5 years, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. That you're ultimately either committed to or addicted to or both, because you're the one that's there. You don't have a big staff that takes over when you're gone. Like you had to close the place today because you're here.
That's right.
We appreciate that.
Thank you for letting me be here, and I don't mind. I mean, it's not going to always be this way. I'm working on various...
You're going to have to get some help at some point,
yes,
I think.
I'm working on various initiatives, and once I get them behind me, then I need to have some time off so I can really, look at more product and do things, so...
But you are open 6 out of 7 days a week, right?
Monday through Saturday, yes.
Yeah, okay. 10 o'clock Monday to Friday is your opening time. What, Monday to Saturday, you open at 10?
Every morning at 10, Thursday, Fridays till 6, and all the rest of the days till 5.
How does somebody like yourself, and I think because Michael said you are an artist, and I think this is what separates artists, good artists, intuitive artists, from the rest of the population, is there is something. There's something that attracts you, whether it's the touch, passion, whether it's the vision, but it's something that instills that passion. A musician loves the feel of a guitar in their hands or a drumstick. Mm-hmm. The painter likes that feel of the brush or something, and it was you with paper. Where did that come from originally? Like, how did that, or was it just something you've always had?
I think it's something I've always had, and then, I started going to paper shops and just kind of losing my mind in them. And now that I look at product, to me, it's like eating a delicious food. It's very it's
satisfying.
It is. It's so exciting, and there's so much out there, and there's so much for me to tap into. And
but you're a true expert now, Antoinette. I mean, now that you just all these experiences, the way you feel about it, now you go there and you touch the paper. So now the best stuff is in your store. Because
I'm getting there.
You've done all the research and you know it, and you're so passionate about the products and all the things that are in there. Like, full disclosure, I shop in Antoinette's store, and I kind
of got that impression.
Yeah, I kind of like, which you never talked about. Listen to this, Lee. Puzzles. Everybody likes puzzles. You can go buy puzzles from everywhere else, but she has these puzzles that are made of wood. and they've got these HD photos on them of animals, and there's all different kinds, and they're just amazing. You know how after when you play with the puzzle so many times, it start to, because they're made of paper, they start. These are wood and beautiful, and they're therapeutic. And I often come there for gifts to buy, and I've got a lot of the puzzles, and they're really good.
It's true. The visuals on the puzzles are like National Geographic, and I like the stories behind product. I think that's what I am attracted to as well. That, with these puzzles, they're made of eco wood. They've kind of copied in the history of puzzle making. They used to be made out of wood once upon a time. So this company, they're making them in the U.S. and they're made of this eco wood, and they.
How do you do your shopping? Because it's not like you're going out to buy a whole pile of shirts or jackets. It's a challenge for you, I guess, to always find something you're interested in.
It is, but you see this product at trade shows, so you go to trade shows, and Instagram now. There's so much on Instagram that I save a lot of things that I love on Instagram, and then I go and investigate them. So as I said, I really like to know the origin of the product and who's behind the company and what is their philosophy and what do they stand in, and are they kind to the environment. These things matter to me when I put them in my shop, and I love mindful creators.
The shop is Figg St Company, and that's the website as well. Figg St Co, all one word, 2 G's, by the way. FiggStreetCo.com if you want to find out more before you visit the store at 40 Front Street South in Thorold. You also want to do the albertapartments.ca.
Yes, Antoinette's store is actually right across from my office as well, too, so we're all there.
No wonder you spend a lot of money there.
Yes,
yeah.
It's very convenient. Did you know that research that she does? All I got to do is walk to one store. Done. Unique gift, no one's seen.
One
buy
big
it,
happy
over.
family.
Yeah, are you kidding?
Well, I'm sure the taxpayers of Thorold appreciate everything you guys are doing for the downtown and hence their community, and that does it again for yet another Skrtich Living Hour. Michael, thanks for being here. Always a pleasure.
Oh, I think the brownies are kicking in now.
Okay. Antoinette D'Angelo, fabulous to meet you. Good luck with Figg St Co. Hope you come back and see us.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Evan Solomon and the programming coming up next. Larry Fedorik's in at 4 today. Patrick Smilarek, thanks for producing this program as per usual. Yay! We'll catch you tomorrow.